What if the windows of the future are not made of glass? What if they are made of wood? Not normal wood. Not the kind you cut, sand, and turn into furniture. A piece of wood rebuilt at the structural level. A material that keeps the skeleton of a tree, but changes how it handles light. Sounds impossible, right? Because wood is supposed to block light. Glass is supposed to let it through. That is the rule we all learned without thinking. But now, that rule is starting to crack. Look at a modern glass tower. During the day, it reflects the sky. At night, it glows like a crystal block. It looks clean, it looks advanced, it looks like the future. But here is the problem. The thing that makes it look modern may also be one of its weakest points. Every pane of glass is a thin border. One side is controlled air, the other side is weather. Heat, sunlight, cold, and pressure are constantly fighting through it. One window does not sound dangerous. But what happens when a building has thousands of them? What happens when an entire city is wrapped in glass? Suddenly, those beautiful walls become a massive energy leak. So engineers started asking a strange question. What if the answer is not better glass? What if the answer is a material we thought we understood? Wood already has a hidden structure inside it. Tiny channels, long fibers, a natural frame built by the tree itself. The question is not whether wood can become glass. The real question is much stranger. Can we redesign wood so light can pass through it? And if that works, why would we need it? Because the real problem is not just making wood transparent. The real problem is what glass is doing to our cities. Start with one office tower covered in glass. From the street, it looks perfect. Bright, smooth, expensive, almost weightless. It reflects the clouds during the day. At night, it turns into a glowing crystal. But inside that beautiful shell, something never stops working. The cooling system, the heating system, the ventilation system, all of it is fighting the same thin barrier, glass. And that is where the trap begins. Because glass is not just a window. In a skyscraper, glass becomes skin. It wraps the building from floor to ceiling. It touches the outside world every second. Sunlight hits it, wind cools it, heat pushes through it, cold pulls against it. And the machines inside have to correct everything. One pane of glass does not sound like a problem. It is just one transparent sheet, one border between comfort and weather. But now multiply that by 1,000, then by 10,000, then by every glass tower in a city. Suddenly, a window is not just a window anymore. It is part of a massive heat exchange system. In summer, sunlight pours through the glass. The rooms heat up. The air conditioner works harder. More energy is pulled from the grid. In winter, the opposite happens. The warm air inside wants to escape. The cold outside presses in. The heating system works harder. And again, the building pays for that beauty. But why does this matter so much? Because modern cities are not small. They are vertical machines. Every tower has thousands of surfaces. Every surface has to manage light, heat, and pressure. The taller the building gets, the larger the problem becomes. First, it is one window. Then it is one wall. Then it is the entire outer skin. And then it is a city full of buildings quietly leaking energy. That is the strange part. Glass became a symbol of progress. It made buildings feel open. It let sunlight reach deep into rooms. It gave architects freedom. It made offices feel clean and futuristic. But the same advantage creates the challenge. Glass lets light in, but it also makes heat hard to control. So the real question is not simple. How do you let sunlight enter a building without letting energy escape? How do you make a window strong enough for construction, but smart enough to control heat? How do you build it at scale without turning every tower into an expensive experiment? Engineers already have better glass. Coatings, multiple layers, gas-filled gaps, reflective films. These can help, but they also reveal something important. The window is not finished technology. It is still a battlefield between light and heat, between beauty and efficiency, between what a building looks like and what it costs to keep alive. And that is why the wood idea becomes so strange. Because engineers did not start with a shiny new metal. They did not begin with a rare mineral. They looked at something older than every city on Earth. A tree. Not because wood is naturally transparent. It is not. Not because wood is ready to replace glass tomorrow. It is not. But because wood has something glass does not. A natural internal frame, built slowly by biology. Tiny channels, long fibers. A structure designed to be light, strong, and efficient. So the shocking idea is not to turn wood into glass. It is to use the part of wood that nature already built. Then remove, adjust, and rebuild the parts that block light. In other words, the wood is not being erased. It is being redesigned. That is the real twist. Engineers are not trying to make fake glass. They are not painting wood with a clear coating. They are not slicing it so thin that light sneaks through. They are going deeper than that. They are going inside the material itself. Because wood is not just a solid block. Under a microscope, it looks more like a city. Tiny channels run through it. Long fibers hold it together. Empty spaces carry water and air, and all of it forms a natural frame. A tree needs that frame to survive. It has to lift water from the ground. It has to stand against wind. It has to stay light enough to grow upward, but strong enough not to collapse. So the thing we call wood is really a biological structure, layer after layer, fiber after fiber, a natural engineering system hiding in plain sight. But if wood is so structured, why is it not transparent already? Because light does not pass through it cleanly. Part of the light gets absorbed. Part of it gets scattered. Part of it gets thrown in different directions. Some components inside wood give it color. Others create tiny borders where light bends and breaks apart. So to your eye, it looks brown, solid, opaque, like something that stops light completely. But what if that is not permanent? What if the problem is not the wood itself? What if the problem is the path of the light? That is where transparent wood begins. First, researchers treat the part of the wood that gives it color. The brown tone fades, the material becomes pale, more light can move through it. But this is the important part. They do not destroy the whole wood structure. They keep the cellulose frame. That frame is the hidden skeleton. It is what gives the material strength. It is what keeps the wood from becoming useless pulp, so the wood loses much of what blocks the light. But it keeps the architecture that made it valuable. Then comes the next step. The empty spaces inside that frame are filled or reinforced. Not randomly, carefully. The goal is to reduce scattering. Light needs a cleaner path, the material needs more clarity, and the structure needs to stay strong. So transparent wood is not wood pretending to be glass. It is wood with its internal rules rewritten, and that is why this idea feels so strange. Wood normally blocks the view, but redesigned wood can carry light. Wood normally becomes walls, floors, and beams, but now it can become a window. Glass was the symbol of the modern city, but the future may borrow its structure from a tree. That sounds backward, but it is not. It is a different way of thinking. We usually name materials like they are fixed things. Glass is transparent, wood is opaque, metal is strong, plastic is light, but materials are not magic words. Their behavior comes from structure. Change the structure and you change the behavior. That is the aha moment. The future window is not strange because it is wood. It is strange because it proves something bigger. A material can keep its identity, but change its function. The wood is still based on wood, but it no longer behaves like the wood in your table. It becomes something in between. Not glass, not plastic, not normal timber. A hybrid material built from nature and engineering. But this is not a miracle product yet. It is not ready to replace every window tomorrow. It still has to prove itself. It has to survive weather. It has to handle moisture. It has to resist aging. It has to be made at scale. And it has to compete with glass that already has a century of industry behind it. But even with those limits, the idea matters. Because transparent wood is not just a lab trick. It is a clue. It shows that future building materials may not come from inventing everything from scratch. They may come from taking natural structures apart, understanding them, and rebuilding them for a new job. So now the question changes. It is no longer just, can wood become transparent? The real question is harder. If transparent wood can let light through, can it also compete with glass where glass is weakest? So where is glass weakest? It depends on the job, because a future window may not need to act like perfect glass. In some rooms, you do not need a crystal clear view. You need daylight, you need privacy, you need softer light. That is where transparent wood becomes interesting. It may let light enter without making it harsh. Instead of a sharp beam crossing the room, light can spread more gently. Think of it like sunlight passing through a natural screen. Not blocked, not fully exposed, diffused. And that changes the question. What if a window is not just something you look through? What if it becomes a light filter, a thermal shield, a structural layer? This is where the material starts to matter. Because the real battle is not just transparency, it is heat. Glass is excellent at letting light pass through, but managing heat is much harder. In summer, that light can turn into unwanted warmth. Winter, warmth inside the building can escape, so the window becomes a weak spot, a controlled leak, a place where the building constantly loses the fight. Transparent wood attacks that problem differently. Wood already has a structure full of tiny spaces and fibers. That structure does not move heat like a dense solid block. It can slow heat transfer. It can create resistance. And when that structure is redesigned for light, it may offer both functions at once. Light comes through. Heat moves more slowly. That is why researchers care. Not because it magically beats every kind of glass, but because it combines properties in a strange way. It is not just transparent. It is not just strong. It is not just bio-based. It is trying to do several jobs at the same time, and the secret is the cellulose frame. Think of cellulose like microscopic scaffolding. The tree already built it. Engineers do not have to invent that frame from nothing. They have to preserve it. Then they have to tune the material around it. If the light scatters too much, the wood looks cloudy. If the structure gets damaged, the strength disappears. If the filler is wrong, the material may age badly. So every layer matters. The path of light matters. The path of heat matters. The bond between materials matters. But this is also where the hype has to slow down. Transparent wood is not a magic replacement yet. It still has problems to solve. Can it be produced at construction scale? Can it survive years of rain and sunlight? Can it resist moisture? Can it meet fire safety standards? Can it stay clear enough for real buildings? Can it be repaired, recycled, or manufactured affordably? Those questions decide whether it becomes architecture or stays a lab sample. But even the limits are useful, because they show what the next generation of materials must do. The future is not only about being stronger, it is about being smarter, lighter, more efficient, better at managing energy, better at using structures that already exist in nature. And that is the second twist. Transparent wood is not only a story about replacing glass, it is a story about changing how we define materials. Instead of asking, what is the strongest material? Engineers are asking better questions. What material can carry light? What material can slow heat? What material can stay light, strong, and useful? What material can do more than one job at once? If transparent wood remains just a strange sample, it ends in a lab. But if it becomes part of a larger movement, then the story gets much bigger. The cities of the future may not be built from things that look futuristic. They may be built from old materials we finally learned how to redesign. Transparent wood may never replace every pane of glass, but that is not the point. The point is that it changes the question. First, transparent wood sounds like a joke. Wood is supposed to be solid. Glass is supposed to be clear. That is how the world feels organized. But then the glass tower starts to look different. It is no longer just beautiful. It is a giant skin of energy leaks. Then the wood starts to look different too, not like a dead block of material, but like a hidden structure, a network of fibers, channels, empty spaces, a natural frame waiting to be redesigned. And that is the bigger story. The future of materials may not come from making everything more artificial. It may come from looking again at what nature already built. A tree solved problems long before cities existed. It had to be light, it had to be strong, it had to move water. It had to survive wind, heat, cold, and time. Engineers are not copying nature like decoration. They are learning how to reprogram it. That is why transparent wood matters. Not because it is guaranteed to replace glass tomorrow, but because it proves that familiar materials are not finished. They can be opened up, rebuilt, tuned, given a new job. So the real question is not what is the clearest material. The real question is much more powerful. What material can carry light, slow heat, stay strong, and come from a structure that already exists? And if wood can be redefined this way, what other ordinary material is waiting to become the next impossible invention? We make original explainers from scratch, so subscribe to not miss what comes next.